Flavors. My name is Brittany Allyn, and today I'm in Newport, Rhode Island. And for lunch, I've chosen the Chanler at Cliff Walk. The Chanler is a 20-room luxury hotel and restaurant experience steeped in history. The structure was built by New York Congressman John Winthrop Chanler as a summer retreat for him and his wife. They completed construction in 1873 at the cost of $30,000. The Chanlers kept the property for about 50 years. After that, it served in many different ways, as a school for girls, housing for naval officers, even a museum. It was most recently purchased in the year 2000 and reopened in 2003 after it was restored, refurbished, and renamed after its original owner. I've heard the Chanler is a must for lunch. They have several restaurants here. I decided to dine on the terrace because it's such a lovely New England day. I can't come to this part of the country and not eat seafood, and they have some really interesting treatments to some of my favorite seafood. I'm gonna start with the local chilled oysters, and I'm thinking about the lobster BLT. Now, I wasn't always one to eat raw oysters, mostly because I would have them like with a cocktail sauce and soda crackers. Didn't get it for me. But that says sometimes when you try something, if you don't like it the first time, try again. A different preparation can make a huge difference. Here, they use a tequila lime mignonette. A mignonette is basically vinegar and shallots. Here, the acidity is coming from the lime juice. That's right. You just kind of take it right off the shelf. Wow. That is so good. What I love about a mignonette is that the brininess of the oyster comes through, and the lime is really nice, and you do get that tequila, but not too strong, not overpowering. Fantastic. When I travel, I always look for a great walking or hiking trail, mostly because, well, it allows me to have more for lunch when I want it. And that is how I discovered the Chanler. It's located on Cliff Walk, which is an amazing walking and hiking trail. So scenic. On one side you have the Rhode Island Sound, and on the other all these wonderful, huge mansions. Gorgeous, beautiful scenic walk. Anyway, when you're on your walks, sometimes that's when you discover the best places for lunch. I decided to go with the lobster BLT. I've had BLTs before, but you can't get much more decadent than a lobster BLT. Here it's got avocado, radish sprouts, and it's dressed with a yuzu and Tahitian vanilla creme fraiche. Yuzu is a citrus fruit. It's somewhere between a grapefruit and a mandarin orange, so that should be an interesting flavor, but great with the lobster. It comes with a mixed green salad as well. Okay, it's huge. Remember, it is a BLT, so it's got bacon and tomato too. Look at, oh wow. Look at all the lobster in there. And there's some on my plate. I'm just gonna get a bite of that, just by itself. Oh. I love that dressing. The citrus aspect and the creme fraiche, perfect with this. And the sweetness from that vanilla. Now, let's try everything all together. Oh, wow. The creaminess from the avocado, the crunch from the bacon, that lobster meat, so tender. The dressing is so fresh. This is the ultimate BLT right here. Travel, I always enjoy trying new things, and I always look forward to coming back home, here to my kitchen, to try and recreate a recipe, or perhaps a menu item might serve as an inspiration for a recipe of my own. Such is the case today. At the Chanler, I had a lobster BLT. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe for a lobster BLT salad. I have to admit, I'm so envious of those of you that live where you have access to fresh lobster meat several months out of the year. Here in Tennessee, not so much, but that doesn't mean you still can't have great lobster dishes. For today's salad, I went to the store and I bought lobster tails. They've been frozen and they're now thawed. They're about 5½ ounces each, so I have enough meat here for 2 lunch salad portions or 4 starter or appetizer salads. To prepare my meat, I'm going to steam it. I've got a pot of water, about 2 to 3 inches of water on the stove, and it's boiling. To that, I'm going to add some lemon. We're just going to squeeze the juice in there, and after we've squeezed all the juice out, we're just going to gently drop the lemon in. I just love how the aroma sort of finds its way into that lobster meat and sort of gently kisses it with a lemon flavor. Okay, then I'm going to take my steamer basket and set it in the pot, and I'm going to grab 2 of my tails. I'm just going to do 2 at a time because I want them to cook evenly and I don't want to crowd them. They don't take long anyway. I'm going to set them in the steamer basket, put the lid on top, and in about 8 to 10 minutes our lobsters will be steamed. I mentioned earlier that this is a lobster BLT salad, which means we need a bacon, lettuce, and tomato element. While our lobster is steaming, I'm going to show you the bacon element. I decided to dress it up a little bit. I went to the store and I got pancetta, which is Italian bacon, and it comes in rounds like this, and it's in the deli department, and you can have them slice it however thick or thin you want it. I like it pretty thin, but yet thick enough to where it holds together. And we're just going to place these rounds on a baking sheet because we're going to make pancetta crisps to garnish our salad. Once we have them on our sheet like that, we're going to place them under the broiler. I have our broiler on low, and I have the rack as close as it can get to the broiler. Now, cooking time can vary depending on how thick or thin your pancetta is and also how hot your broiler runs. So do not leave the kitchen, stay close. You just want it nice and brown and crisp. Oh yeah, look at that, perfect. See how they kind of shrink up into these gorgeous little rounds of bacon? We're gonna let them cool and come back to them later when it's time to garnish our salad. Okay, it's time to check our lobster. Let's peek inside. Oh, awesome. Look how pretty that is. You know, what I like about cooking lobster is that it sort of has its own built-in timer. When the shells get that bright orange color, that usually means it's finished. And also, if you look at the meat itself, it's opaque. It's lost that translucent quality, and that lets you know that it's finished. I'm going to remove the tails to an ice bath to stop the cooking, and that will ensure that we have nice, tender lobster meat. Then I'm going to set the other 2 into the steamer basket, just like that. And we will put the lid back on, and in about 8 minutes, all of our lobster will be finished. Okay, our lobster meat has cooled, and I'm going to show you how to take it out of the shell. You want a kitchen towel handy for this. Look at those shells. Aren't they gorgeous? That is so pretty. Dry it off. And then I like to take it and just kind of hold the tail in the middle like this and crack the shell away from the sides like this. And a towel is handy because sometimes these shells can be sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. And then you can just peel that shell away from the meat. Just kind of get your thumb underneath the shell and press down on the meat like that. See? It's not difficult at all. And just the same on this side. And the shells come right off. And out of the tail. Now sometimes in lobsters like this, see there's this vein, which like in shrimp you devein your shrimp, And you'll want to clean that and make sure that you don't get any of that in your salad. But it's really nothing. It's just the vein that runs through the meat like that. Okay, let's do another one. Ooh, they're still swimming. Okay, when I had my lobster BLT at Chanler, the portion you saw was really only half of that sandwich. I shared it with my cameraman. Oh my gosh, it was huge, but it was delicious. And that, of course, was made with cold water lobster too. Okay, our lobster meat has been taken out of the shells. Now I'm going to show you how I like to cut it. What I like to do is make a cut across the length of the tail, like that. And then, and if you see, like I said, any of that vein kind of stuff, you might want to clean that out, like that. And then I like to just cut the meat on a diagonal in fairly good sized pieces because we want everybody to know this is a lobster salad. We'll do the next one. Now I'm going to show you how to make the dressing for our salad. At the Chanler, they flavored their dressing with yuzu and Tahitian vanilla, two great ingredients, however, not readily available where I live. So I've adjusted it a little bit, but I think you'll find this equally delicious. I'm going to start like they did with creme fraiche. Creme fraiche is just French for fresh cream. This is a sour cream, but not as sour as our American sour cream. It's got a little higher fat content too, so it's a little more indulgent. I love it for salads like this because it's sort of a blank canvas. It allows all the other flavors to come through, especially that delicate sweet flavor of the lobster. To that, for my citrus element, I am going to use key limes. I need the zest of one lime. Key limes are these tiny little limes, and they pack quite a punch. I think they're a little more tart than Persian limes that we see most of the time in the stores. So just the zest from one of these will go a long way. Okay, that should do it, and we're just going to brush that zest down into the bowl. Try and get all of it in there. Now I'm going to take a knife and cut our key lime. If you notice, I have a strainer here. I'm going to set that on the bowl because key limes have seeds, whereas Persian limes do not. And we're just going to squeeze the juice of the key lime into this dressing, and this will be our acidic element to the dressing. Now, if you've watched the show before, you know I love fresh herbs. For this, I've chosen tarragon. I love tarragon. It has sort of an anise or light licorice flavor. And we're just going to pull the leaves off the stems like this. And I love this because it sort of really brightens up the salad and adds a nice coolness on your tongue. It's like a summer breeze to your taste buds. Okay, now we're just going to get a nice fine mince on that. Again, make sure your knife is plenty sharp so that you don't bruise the tarragon. Okay, I think that about does it. We want about a tablespoon. So we're just going to take that and drop it into our dressing. And then we'll take our spatula and combine it. Get all of those ingredients working together. It smells so fresh between the tarragon and that key lime. Delish. Now, we're going to season it too just a little bit. Put a little salt in there, like that. And I think we should taste it. Always taste. Ooh, that's great. I love how that key lime gets that little zing right there. And the tarragon, so nice and cool on your tongue with the creamy creme fraiche. Perfect dressing for our lobster BLT salad. I went to the farmer's market for my produce, mostly because I knew they would have a great selection of heirloom tomatoes, and I just love them. They come in so many great colors. This one is a pineapple, this one a brandywine black, this one a Castaluda, and this one a green striped zebra. Look at that. It's green, though it is completely ripe. And I just thought they would make such a lovely presentation on our salad. I'm going to slice them. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to reminisce about my day in Newport, Rhode Island. It was so wonderful. I actually had the day off there. So after lunch at the Chanler, I went sailing. Oh my gosh, if you love sailing, you have got to go to Newport. It was so wonderful. First of all, it was a gorgeous day. It was, oh gosh, about 85 degrees, sunny, and out on the water. How relaxing. The way the wind catches the sails and the boat drifts across the water. And it was so cool. The captain, he even gave me a chance to man the wheel, to steer the ship, play captain for a while. And it was so much fun, though. There was a lady on the boat, and I don't know if she'd sailed before. She might not have even been on a boat before, but she was a little nervous, though the captain assured her that I was a natural. Okay, I've got all of my tomatoes sliced. Aren't they gorgeous? What a lovely rainbow of color. One of the ingredients that they had in my lobster BLT at the Chanler was avocado. I love avocado. Now when you go to the grocery store, you just want to squeeze it ever so gently, and if it gives a little bit, that's how you know it's ripe. Now to cut it, I like to take my knife and go into the end, like that, until it stops. That's how you know you hit the pit. And then just kind of take your knife and work around the avocado, like that, and turn it. Then you've got your pit. To remove it, just take your knife and whack it pretty good. Be careful. And then turn. And that's how you get the pit out. Now, again, be careful getting the pit off because you don't want to cut yourself. Catch. Oh, fooled you. Alright, now to get the meat out of the skin, just take a spoon and go nice and easy along the edge. Just like that to get out all of that avocado. Perfect. Ooh, I got a little extra there. We don't want to waste any. And do the other half the same way. Perfect. Now, what I like to do is just take this and we're going to slice it. Nice slices. And you'll see how this will really present nice for our lobster salad. Okay, it's time to plate our lobster BLT salad. I'm going to plate it as an appetizer or starter salad because I think this would be awesome, like if you were doing a surf and turf meal as a first course. I'm going to take my dressing and just add it to the lobster meat, like that. And then we're going to just very gently stir and combine. We don't want to break up that lobster meat. Just keep it nice and beautiful like that. Okay, once the lobster meat is dressed, we're going to take our plate, and for the lettuce portion of this, I love using this Boston lettuce because it's sort of got a milky butteriness to it that I just love. And we'll take a couple of those leaves like that and set them on our plate. I'm going to take a spoonful of that lobster meat and just set it on the leaves like that to kind of weigh them down so that the lettuce leaf sort of fans out all pretty like. There you go. And then I'm going to take some of those gorgeous tomatoes. And we're going to get some of every color on this. Ooh, some of these are really ripe. Okay, like that. And then this bright red one right there. And maybe we'll finish with the green up on top. Now, the avocado slices, we're just going to fan on the other side like this. This is such a pretty salad. So impressive. Make this for your friends, people that you love. I'm telling you, they will feel the love, right? And one more piece of that avocado. Now the pancetta crisps. Some people like butter. I gotta tell you, I like bacon, any kind of bacon. And we're just gonna take the pancetta crisp and set it in the lobster meat like that. In fact, we'll give each salad 2 of them. There. Look at how pretty is that salad. Who wouldn't be impressed with this? The wine I chose to go with our lobster BLT salad is one of my go-to wines. In fact, I call it my house white because I always have it on hand. It's very versatile. It is the King Estate Pinot Gris. This is from Oregon, and it sort of has a lot of citrus, some apricot, and it really starts with pear and melon flavors and then kind of finishes with a citrus light crisp finish. I thought it would go great with this. It's sort of something between an unoaked Chardonnay and a Sauvignon Blanc. Perfect for this salad. Now, to eat this, you almost have to break it apart a little bit because you want to get some of that bacon or that pancetta in your bite, and also some of the tomato and the avocado. I know it looks too pretty to eat, but you just have to get into it and break it apart. Okay, now, I'm going to get some of that lobster meat. Ooh, first of all, look at that piece of lobster meat. Succulent, gorgeous. The dressing's working perfectly. Really allows the sweetness of the lobster meat to come through. Now, some of those heirloom tomatoes. And more lobster. Oh. I love heirloom tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes, nothing like it. Now, pancetta. This is like a salad that just keeps giving. Yum. Now we should taste the wine. I love that color. I'm telling you, the perfect wine. Now, if you were going to do a surf and turf, and you were going to go into, steak, this actually, as a white wine, if you have white wine drinkers, will work fine. But there's nothing wrong with starting and serving a white wine with your appetizer or your first course, and then changing to a red. Now, I'm going to finish eating my lobster BLT salad and continue dreaming about revisiting Newport, Rhode Island. I'm so glad you joined me today. I'd like to remind you that my recipe for a lobster BLT salad is available on my website, savortheflavors.tv. Also, there is a complete list of the brand names of products I use, as well as additional wine pairing suggestions. My name is Brittany Allyn, and whether you visit the Chanler or try my recipe, either way, I hope you take time to savor the flavors.